Hey, welcome back to another episode of D-Ray's Garage, where before I do my next fun project, I have to clean up the suspension. So let me show you what's happening under here. So here's the perished rubber and, just kind of trash here. So that's out. These guys were super shredded here. Obviously, once these boots start to fail, dirt and grime get up in here and live in the desert. Nothing but dirt and grime to go in there, and that's not a good thing. This doesn't look bad here, this rubber on the interior of this. This one also seems pretty solid. But the problem with these is you can't press these out. It's kind of a one-shot deal on these. They're about $100 for the aftermarket. Lemforder, I think I chose. You'll see later when we put it on the other side. So that's what we're going to do today. But the reason we're doing all that is because we're getting rid of these salty old suckers. Embrace the ugliness. And we're going for these fellas. Yep. Gold wheels. Shock horror, right? So these are the Sport Techno wheels, the BBS OEM Sport Technos. They're a hollow forge, or probably a cast wheel anyway. They're hollow in there, so you have to have special stems, which is something I learned when we went to the tire store. And I had them powder coated in gold because the car's black. And even if I choose to wrap it or fix the paint, I'm going to go with a dark color. So maybe do some decaling. If you have any ideas, post those down below. I am open to ideas there. Anyway, that's today's project. Let's get cracking. So while I'm in here project, I got these little $10 stickers on eBay. I just feel like that finishes it off. You know? I know it's not great, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love the caliper? And this one's black already. I want to dress it up just a little bit. So I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol, prep the surface, see if we can extract the sticker without getting too much of my dirty fingers on it. Now, placement's personal choice, but I'm going to go right around the middle because it'll fit. Big reveal. Well, that's dirt still doing there. Alright, so the next question will be, if I were a smart man, I would mask all this off and throw a couple of things of clear over it. What I think I'm going to do, because it's basically a $10 experiment, I'm going to ceramic coat this area just to offer some protection for this stickiness. I don't think it's really the right thing to do, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to give you a quick orientation in here. So we've got our lower control arm right here. We have our drop link right here. You can see how this is probably pretty perished. The real bad one is I don't even think this nut back here is tightened. If I'm not mistaken from the PPI, there's like a big gap there. But if there's not, it was the other side. If you happen to be on your driver's side, you're going to find a level sensor stuck in this hole here. So you want to make sure you extract that before you drop your lower control arm. Otherwise, it'll snap off, and I don't know what it costs, but it just be careful. Pop it up from the underside, and you should be good to go from that standpoint. There's only one on the front end, and it's on the driver's side, which I already got off. Other than that, in here, we're not going to do much else. We're really just going after the control arm and the drop link today, which will require taking this out, taking this diagonal arm out. Now I should have replaced that. The rubber doesn't look terrible back in there. I don't know if you'll agree or not, but it looks complete. I don't see any splits, so I'm not going to lose sleep over that one. So that'll be the first thing to come off, and then we can start going after in here, getting the knuckle separated from the control arm, then back up underneath it here, and then this drop link one side here, and then where it connects into the sway bar down here. So that's how we're going to take it all out. There's a variety of 21s, 16s, 18s, wrenches, sockets, kind of a variety of things that will help the project. But that's the overview. 18 on the bottom, 21 on the top. Okay, once you got it loose, go to the power tools. And then save this guy to go back in. Notice the Loctite. Oh, where are you? Camera, where are you? Notice the Loctite. We're going to put some more back on there. So now this will start to get out of our way a little bit when we need it to. So next up, I'm going to tackle the knuckle over here and the LCA, which, in fact, I'm going to film it from over here, or at least start to, because look at this gap. Like, that's, I don't know if the boot's just compressed, or it just feels like that's probably not completely on there correctly. So this one is an 18, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get this guy off. Now the trick on these is you have to support on the opposite side with a, I think it's an 18. There's a little, inside of the rubber bushing, there is a beveled edge, and you need to do that, otherwise it'll just spin within the fitting, and you don't want that. So I think this is an 18 again. Let's see though. It is, but I'm going to go in with a socket because it's just easier. Okay. I don't think we need to reuse that because the new unit, let me check, comes with new nuts, so that's fine. And then you can just kind of, maybe need a little tap on it to get it to come out of the knuckle here. But when it does, this the shock and the knuckle are going to separate, and it'll split. It'll slide down, which isn't ideal. So if you wanted to stop that happening, you could pop a jack under here, under your control arm if you wanted. So at the bottom here, same thing, 16 support. Actually, I can show you here. You can see how this is like a hexagonal bolt of sorts, and so you want to support that so you don't create spinach here. Take that off. That just slides out of the sway bar like that. It'll be a bit more effort, as you can see, coming out of here. Well, not more effort, but once we do, this yellow part does risk falling. So I am going to try and get the new one ready and push it in right away, because if I don't move anything and it seems like it's fairly loose in there, it might help me avoid it falling and then having to kind of realign it, which is just a pain in the rump. So let's see if I can pull that off. So let's see if this slips, or if it came out smooth. See if I can delicately thread the newbie back through. Oh, look at that. That saved me an effort later on. We'll just drop a nut on here so it doesn't fall out. I'm going to leave this bottom part loose down here, if you can see that. See, there's the sway bar. Wait a minute. What the heck? That doesn't look right. Did they send me two of the same? No. No. Alright, so this is the lower control arm. 18 on one side, 16 on the other. And it's really hard to get any sockets in. This is a pretty tight space, so I mean, you should get longer edges than me. I don't know why I don't like leverage, but this seems to be okay. This is about an 86 pound tightening, so it's not as bad as that cross arm there. and didn't fight that hard. And we will be pretty sure reusing this nut and bolt. Okay, so I'm going to leave that in there because I do need to pop off this fella, which I don't think will give us a big fight because it doesn't even seem like it's fully seated in the tapered fitting. And this is also the fun part of the project. If you try and do this without one of these, you could use some kind of fork. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you might know. So there's another way to do it. Either way, you almost always wreck these bushings. So if you are trying to preserve these, that can be a challenge. That one came out of there, but I do want to use a knot on here just because we're going to press down on the top. And even though I'm not trying to protect it, I want to show you the right way to do it, because you don't want to mushroom your threaded bolt if you're going to reuse it, which I'm not. But so you slide this fella under the boot there, under the knuckle, and then get this tightened up on top of our little knot. Okay, so can you see that? So right there is the top, hopefully, if I got it on there right, and then under here is where we're secured. This is a 19 mil, and then this is where the fireworks happen, because it's gonna, if it's crazy in there, it could pop off. If it's not crazy in there, it won't be that exciting, and I've totally overplayed it. Boom! There you go. You got a little drama, you probably heard that. So that's it popping out of there, and that's where the suspension would have fallen down if we didn't put that pin back up in there, or this bolt back through there. So this is loose now. We can remove the top nut. And it would have been easier if I had taken all this off, but it's a pain in the bum, so I'd rather struggle. So that's that. Now we can get this nut out over here, a bolt I should say, and then you'll notice there's not a lot of room in the cavity, but it does kind of give you a hole here to push this all the way back out. It's just not very good for getting tools in. Come on. Almost there. All right. So that should be a free control arm. Gotta get this out of the way. And this out of the way. That's down there. Out with a control arm. So here's our new guy. Much shinier and fresher. The boot's pretty stiff. And this is definitely a tight fella on here, but we'll have to contort it to get it up in here and then aligned over here. So I'm going to start getting it threaded on the subframe, because then I've got a little ballast to support me. So where did I put my bolt? So it's pretty clear which side the bolt goes in, because you couldn't even get an angle on this side, so that helps me when I forget. So you thread the bolt back, in here, and we'll just tee it up there. Slot this guy here while we can see where on target. Come through, and then I will put some Loctite on here before I secure it down, but I just want to get this fed in here, move this knuckle around. If I can manipulate that a little bit, get this started. Oh, don't want to. Oh, see that? The little brake doohickey almost split my boot from the jump. That would have been bad news. Come on. Nope. There we go. Up in there. Fresh shiny bolt came with the control arm. It's a locking nut. So we'll start that. Push this back in here. We can get around all the stuff. There we go. Same here, I have to get some Loctite. In fact, I do have the Loctite, so let me Loctite this sucker up. Send it up. And then on the top side up here, get that guy started. You can see it starts to spin, so same thing again, we'll do a 21 on the top. Right there. Okay. We'll torque this down when we get everything else together, but that'll be 118 foot-pounds for that guy. This one will be 86, but I'll clarify on the screen if I'm wrong about that. I'm gonna put some Loctite on here. So when you're securing this or torquing this, you probably want a jack to get this to ride height, whereby you don't put stress on these bushings here, these rubber bushings. You don't want it under tension because you tighten it when the arm's hanging more than you want it to. So get the jack under here and just pop it up to roughly ride height. Basically, you'd probably see it drop an inch. So put it up back that inch and then torque that in there. Everything else can be torqued as is. Getting to this one's going to be fun. This one is 56 foot-pounds here, but you know, I know there's some conversation about how much torque this might add to the conversation, but if you run it at 90 degrees, it should be pretty much in the same ballpark. So let's see what we're set at. Oh, we're set entirely too high. Okay, got her on. It's not always pretty, but it's effective. 118. Alright. A little bonus because this one only goes to 100, so that one's secure. This one's secure right here. Just I need to get a jack to jack up this for the little control arm. Ooh! Tell me I didn't round it. Click, click. So there we are, all torqued up. I'll put the numbers on the screen. I think that's 86. I think that's 118. I think this one's 37. No, this one, sorry. It's 56. The bottom at the sway bar link is 37 foot-pounds. The interior one here to the knuckle, I want to say it was 56 pounds, but I'll correct myself on the screen if need be. But yeah, you'll notice where I did resort back to the old one because I want to get the new wheels on. So stick around. New episode coming out with those shiny gold Sport Technos very soon. Thanks for chiming in. Subscribe, comment, like if you want. Be memorable, be well, and I'll see you on another video soon.